there are times a person can get busy. You may not be able to stay on top of your billing. Maybe you don't have the staff.
Well, that surplus of cash, when it gets too big, then at that point, you can give yourself a little bonus. Funding these projects, just because you neglected to build enough to cover your total cost.
Yeah. What the hell is going on, my ProfitDig brothers? My name is Chris Work. I'm here with my partner, Jeff Spencer.
Buddy,
we got
guys.
Producer Jerry behind the camera as always. We appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, stop right now. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us. It could help you. Like some videos, leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you're already subscribed to the channel, it's awesome to see you again. Jeff, we were having a discussion earlier. We were just talking about cash flow and what that scenario may look like. So let's just say I'm a fairly new contractor, been in business 1 or 2 years. I'm starting to bid on larger projects. There are times a person can get busy. You may not be able to stay on top of your billing. Maybe you don't have the staff, support staff around to make sure that everything, you're on top of all of this stuff. So, and I know it differs for everyone.
But maybe you got a slow paying client.
Slow paying client. I can speak. So, and again, differs for everyone, but like, what would you recommend as a new contractor in terms of cash flow on the side, money on the side, dry powder, as they call it? What do I need to have there so that way I can continue running my business, continue bidding jobs, just business as usual, essentially, until my invoices are getting paid?
Well, and as a new upcoming contractor or you're just getting started or however you want to look at it, I've always said, and recommend, that you draw a salary out of your company, just like, you're on payroll, you get a salary.
Absolutely.
All right. That profit that you make, which you should be making profit. If you're not, you need to reconsider what you're doing. But, getting started, push that profit over to the side, build you a bank account with that profit. Every month, if you've, just say you've got $10,000 profit this month, we'll stick that $10,000 in like a money market.
Okay.
Let it draw interest for you.
Sure.
Let it sit there and work for you. You're still drawing a salary. You and your family are taken care of. You've got your money budget for your company to run on. This profit over here is after your company's been budgeted to run on.
Okay.
So you've got X amount goes into general funds to pay your payroll, to pay your fuel, to pay your equipment notes, to pay your light bill, your phone bill, your rent, or whatever it may be. All that stuff is in your general funds every month. And so you do this over a period of time and you keep sticking that back. Well, eventually you get a surplus of cash is what you hope for. Well, that surplus of cash, when it gets too big, then at that point, you can give yourself a little bonus. That's what it's all about. Take a little bit out, give yourself a bonus. Everything's good. But there's going to come times when you're going to get skinny. And what I mean by skinny is like, you have hard times.
Are you talking about my beer belly or
I
are we
wish.
talking about something? Okay.
I wish, but skinny on cash.
I got you.
So, you have exhausted your resources over here. So, you've got to have like an emergency fund or a line of credit.
Yeah.
And in doing that, you've got to have the money to continue to run your company. It's like my dad said one time when we started our own business. He's like, we've got to have enough money on hand at all time to run for 6 months minimum. And that's paying payroll, that's buying fuel, that's buying materials, whatever that may be, on your average. And you're going to know average because every year, you have to figure up your overhead and what your total cost is, what your total profit is. So you've got a pretty good idea every year of what you spend to keep your company running per month.
Yeah.
And so if you can't do it with the cash flow that you put aside, you got to go to the bank and have a good working relationship with them and have a line of credit to fall back on. You got to have something. And you may have enough cash flow. If that is, that's great.
That's ideal.
That's ideal. And that's what you want. And so, like we was talking about bonusing yourself a while ago, don't get carried away. Don't over bonus yourself.
Right.
Make sure you've got plenty of cash to run 6, 8, 9 months in there at all times.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You know, you want to have that in your money market sitting over here, drawing interest for you. You hope you never have to touch it, but if you do, it's there.
It's there.
And another thing is, you know, one way to get skinny is like getting busy in your work and kind of neglecting your company.
Okay.
And so, you know, you get focused on these jobs or projects that's going on. You get so involved, you know, and maybe, you know, you have underbilling this month or underbilling 2 months in a row. Well, you know, when you underbill, then what that means is you've billed, but you haven't billed enough to cover your total cost.
Right.
So that can eat away at your cash flow pretty quick.
Yeah. And then you got their net terms.
Yes.
That you've agreed to. So who knows what that window
Right.
is.
Exactly. And, you know, it may be, you know, every time you bill every month, but it may be a 60-day turnaround
Right.
on getting your check. So if you've done that 2 months in a row, you're looking at 120 days,
Yeah.
you know, getting caught up to get you back on track.
Mm-hmm. There's 75 to 80% of that money you hope you've got setting in that money market account.
You're 6 months in on funding these projects.
Yeah.
You know, just because you neglected to bill enough to cover your total cost.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good to be that busy.
Oh, it is.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But you know, at that point, you know, you gotta kind of step back and redirect and like, you know, hey, I can't continue to do this. You know, I've either got to grow my company and get some help here to help me where this doesn't happen again, or, you know, we're going to scale back.
Yeah.
You know, one of the two.
Sure.
So when you get to that point where you start making those kind of mistakes, you're at the point of either growing or you've got big as you want to get and you need to scale back. And,
Yeah. You're at that fork in the road.
Yes.
Right then. Yeah. All right. Well,
And it may happen multiple times, you know, over the years, you know, and
Sure.
at that point, you know, you continue to either grow your company or scale back, you know, to where you can handle it.
no, absolutely. Yeah. Or you could find yourself in a project where the GC, something happened with them. They could file bankruptcy or who knows what. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. So,
Or you get in with a bad developer or something, you know, and then all of a sudden you're in a lawsuit.
oh gosh.
You
Yeah.
know, how are you going to pay for that?
Right. Legal fees on
Yes.
top of that. Yeah. All right.
And is it worth, depending on the size of the job, you know, is your legal fees going to outweigh what you got coming?
Exactly.
Sometimes you just got to write off as a loss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's some cash in that money market account. If
Exactly.
we need to just write it off, we can.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's good stuff, Jeff. I appreciate it as always, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Guys, I hope you find this information useful. Hey, listen, while you're here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment, ask a question, let us know what you want to talk about. If you're in construction, you're probably looking for the world's easiest to use estimating and job costing solution. Check us out, ProfitDig.com. See you soon.
See you guys.